The Himalayas. Towering peaks, untouched wilderness, and quite literally the top of the world. I've been wanting to visit here for a long time, ever since I discovered regular people can hike and see Mount Everest. This year I thought that dream would come true, but I guess it wasn't meant to be.
I've been sick for a couple of weeks, came to get it checked out by the doctor, and when they did some blood tests, it wasn't safe for me to go home. They said that I needed to stay in and go on intravenous antibiotics.
After ending up in a Sri Lankan hospital for 5 days, I had to cancel my Everest base camp trek. It was more than a disappointment. I felt like a failure, it was scary, and to be honest, I felt really alone. But it eventually led to me trekking through a different part of the Himalayas, where very few tourists ever go. Little did I know that this would turn out to be one of the best things I've ever done. I arrived in Nepal a few weeks before the trek, still recovering but excited to see the Himalayas. But after staying with a local family near Kathmandu, I quickly realised it wasn't going to be as simple as I thought. I'd expected to see snow-capped peaks wherever I went, but instead I was met with clouds, pollution, and terrible visibility. Not only was I missing out on my dream of Everest, but I didn't know if I'd see any mountain peaks at all. Still, I had to at least try, so I booked onto a 5-day Himalaya tour. I found myself trekking through remote villages into the Nepali wilderness, and even saw some of the country's more illicit activities. I was guided by Thakur, a Nepali local, and got to see things rarely seen by tourists. The Halambu trek is a cultural trek which takes you through lower but still high altitudes. It weaves its way through villages home to the Tamang people, who are Nepali but practice Mongolian and Tibetan Buddhism. This adventure starts in the village of Sundarijal, an hour's drive from Kathmandu. After collecting our permits, we began hiking up through the national park, with Thakur leading the way. Soon the chaos of Kathmandu felt like a distant memory, and we were beginning to enjoy the quiet of our surroundings. It was this, along with the views of snowy mountain peaks, that had brought me to Nepal in the first place. So first day of hiking, 10 to 15 kilometres I think to Chisapani, and is all uphill, so it's going to be a sweaty day.
This plant is marijuana, you see, green.
Do you smoke a lot of marijuana, Thakur?
No.
As we climbed higher into the mountainsides, I was getting my first taste of Nepali Buddhist culture. Namaste! But I was also realising quickly that the visibility was still a problem here. Even on higher ground, wood smoke, pollution and seasonal fog made it impossible to see the peaks of the Himalayas. It's been so foggy, so I've been in all of these places that are supposed to have fantastic views of the Himalayas, and because of the weather you can't really see anything. I would say that's definitely something to bear in mind if you're thinking of coming during the spring, because there's so much to see which is just not visible at the moment. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed, but I was still really enjoying being in remote nature-filled places. I welcomed the cool shade of the forest, watching people go about their daily lives, and the sunlight hitting the leaves on the trees. So we have arrived at the Teahouse, and I just want to show you the room. Actually, it's quite a luxury one here. I'm really happy with it. Infrastructure in the Himalayas is limited, and many tea houses are without showers or much water. Blankets and a proper bed are also a luxury here, along with having my own room. I settled down for the night and listened to the storm, hoping it might improve visibility in the morning. The next day the sky was a milky haze, but the sun was shining as we made our way through beautiful pine forests. Soon we arrived in another village and found something I was definitely not expecting to see.
Here is ganja farming.
Ganja farming? Do the village people plant the cannabis?
Yeah, and maybe after harvest and sell.
Ah, they sell it?
Yeah.
Is it legal?
Not legal.
Ah.
Some people from Kathmandu It's coming here, hunting.
Ah, they steal it.
Yeah.
After my lesson in illicit agriculture, the terrain began to get steeper. As we climbed higher into the smog, the paths turned into rocky crevices and we didn't see anyone else for most of the day. Eventually the path levelled off a little and we reached the village of Kutumsang, where I learnt more about Buddhist culture and the meaning of the prayer flags. Anyone who comes to Nepal will notice is these coloured flags. Now, these flags are Buddhist flags. Each of the colours represents an element, and all of these combined together represent balance. And the idea is that as the wind blows through the flags, it blows blessings. Day 3 took us into the Langtang Valley, one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. We walked through ancient forests where trees were covered in moss and where the endangered red panda lives. We didn't see any pandas, but I was overwhelmed by the peacefulness of this place. I was also beginning to feel the effects of altitude and thinning air, which was making me breathe a little harder. We have 1,000 metres to gain in elevation, so we'll be going up to 3,500. I don't even know if I've ever been at that altitude before, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how my body reacts and to put myself outside of my comfort zone, because I have absolutely no idea. As we climbed higher, we reached ancient rhododendron forests where the flowers were in full bloom. The paths became more and more hostile and it began to get much colder. Still, my body adjusted well to the altitude and we made the final stretch over a landslide to reach Tadepathy. I was excited for the morning when I was hopefully going to see the Himalayas. It's the morning of day 4 and I am so happy because for the first time since being in Nepal, which is 1 whole month, I've woken up and been able to see the Himalayas really clearly and some snow-capped peaks. So yes, it's great and I am just loving every second of this Halambu trek. It was overwhelming seeing the peaks of the Himalayas and my heart felt so full. It might not be Everest, but in many ways it felt even more special because of how quiet it was here. The final part of the trek was climbing Amayangri, a mountain pilgrimage with a Buddhist monastery at the top. I was the only Western tourist there, and when we arrived, we had more views over snowy peaks. So it is the morning of day 5 and the end of my Halambu trek. I have to say it exceeded expectations. It's been completely different every day, so I highly recommend. Thank you very much for watching and I will see you next time.